Hello everybody and welcome back to Week 3 NFL picks, predictions, and all that. So let's jump right into New York Jets versus New England Patriots. Now I am recording this a bit late. It is currently halftime of the Jets-Patriots game, but I already locked up my pick, so we're all good there, and I picked the Jets. I mean, so far my pick is looking pretty good. As I thought, Patriots, they just aren't that great, and I felt they probably would have had a chance if they were able to really compete with the Seahawks, which they did for a bit, but I don't know, man. I don't really know how I feel about the Patriots anymore at this point. Now for the Cleveland Browns and the New Jersey Giants. Wow, this is going to be quite the game. Two teams that scored 18 points last week in two different manners and in two different results, as Giants came toe-to-toe down to the wire with the great Washington Commanders. And meanwhile, the Browns survived the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, two interesting football franchises at this point. It's the Browns, though. The Giants are absolutely horrible. Now, another AFC South team competing with the Green Bay Packers. And, Titans, they are pretty terrible this year. Packers, surprise win, I would say at least, with Malik Willis pulling it out. And doing fine, I guess. And the other interesting part about this game is that Jordan Love is trying to come back, which is very surprising because it was originally 3-6, and this is only 2 weeks after that injury. So I think it would be a really bad idea for him and the Packers to start him. It's really not that hard of a game, and to potentially lose him for even longer and potentially rest of the year, you never know. Especially with already an injury, it's just not going to be worth it. So I think Packers are going to win no matter what. But Titans, they could definitely put up a good fight. It's in Tennessee as well, so you never know. Now for another AFC South versus NFC North bout, we got the Chicago Bears taking on the Colts. And the Colts, very surprising, 0-2 in my opinion. One of the more surprising ones, as I really thought that they should have beaten the Packers last week. But 3 picks, more like 2 picks for AR-15. It's a tough one. That's a tough one. They're going up against the Bears, and the Bears really haven't done anything this season. They didn't do a great job against C.J. Stroud and the Texans, and one of the teams that I think are definitely more of a mystery than other teams. And same with the Colts. Honestly, this should be a really good game for both of them to find out a lot about themselves. But I personally think that AR-15 is going to have a really good day against a pretty good Bears defense. But I think Colts should have gotten a win at some point. And I think this week is going to be their first win. We have the Houston Texans and the Minnesota Vikings. Two 2-0 teams, kind of surprising. And, oh boy, Sam Darnold, I tell you what, I'm liking Sam Darnold this year. He's not bad. He's not bad at all. And I think last week, like I said in the last video, this was his really chance to prove himself that he is actually a starting caliber quarterback in this league now. And I think this year is going to cause Sam Darnold to get a lot of money in the future with a different team. Obviously with the Vikings having J.J. McCarthy. Now the Texans, they're starting off pretty strong, beating the Bears and beating the Colts. And yeah, Texans going to continue to Texan. Now obviously the interesting thing is that the Vikings just beat one of the best teams in the league. And I feel like Niners, a bit of an off day. But Sam Darnold, he's playing pretty well, and the Texans certainly not even close to the 49ers level in terms of skill level, talent, really everything. And I don't know. It's going to be a tough one in Minnesota once again. I could see the Vikings pulling it out, but I think the Texans are just going to continue to dominate. Now for my Philadelphia Eagles, I am still in absolute utter shock that Saquon Barkley dropped that ball. Obviously, there's a lot more game to that, and we beat the Falcons, but Saquon dropped it, and we beat ourselves. It's just how the cookie crumbles, how the tables turn, how I don't know any other sayings, but yeah, the defense, 2-minute drill defense is not great. It's not great, especially against Kirk Cousins in primetime. I will say Kirk Cousins, he's been getting better in primetime as of recently, but still, dude. And Yeah, that's a very, very tough loss. I'd say probably one of, if not the most heartbreaking losses I've ever seen live as an Eagles fan. And I think it's going to continue to be that way. But now on to the Saints. Thank you for Zach Bond. He's incredible. Love Zach Bond to death. He's literally against the Falcons. He picked up Bijan Robinson with one arm and flipped him on his side like a burger while Bijan was juking away from him. He's incredible. Thank you, Saints. But Saints been dominant. They've scored on every single of their 15 drives, and like 12 or 13 of those drives have been touchdowns, and like in a row for all of them as well. They beat a Cowboys defense, which I feel is good, but it's the Cowboys, so it's always going to be tough, and obviously beat the shit out of the Panthers. But again, not a really big deal there. And I still think that the Eagles are a vastly, vastly better team than the Saints. And obviously Alvin Kamara, he was dominant. Derek Carr, he's turning out to be pretty good. But I do think the one thing with Derek Carr is that he pulls you in and then reels you back, because he's going to end up being pretty mid for the Saints. They honestly are probably going to win the division, but you never know. But yeah, it's probably going to be a good game. It's going to be a great game, and I think I'm honestly not going to watch Red Zone. I'm just going to watch this game because obviously Philadelphia Eagles. But yeah, I'm picking the Eagles. I am picking the Eagles. Very surprising to me that 63% of people are picking the Saints over the Eagles. That is truly incredible to me. Now for another 2-0 matchup, we got the Los Angeles Chargers. There's the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it's a weird one. These teams have interesting personalities and defining characteristics, I'd say. Chargers becoming, I'd say, pretty decent. Their defense is the best in the league right now, at least in terms of points allowed. And Pittsburgh Steelers are second, just behind them. And yeah, two incredible defenses is going to be hard, but two of the most elite defenses in the league. Now you have to look at the offenses. Pittsburgh just not there. Not even close. Just don't have a great offense. Chargers, Justin Herbert, he's incredible. Quentin Johnston, he's coming around. He's not doing too shabby so far. J.K. Dobbins looking like an incredible pickup and really an upgrade from Austin Eckler. But I think that based off of what I've said, probably Chargers, but it could go either way. It really could. I mean, it's Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, so literally anything could happen. And great defense, T.J. Watt, Khalil Mack, two of the best defensive players in the league. But I'm picking Chargers. Now for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Denver Broncos. Oh boy, the Broncos. The Broncos. They are bad. I mean, there's a lot of teams right now, and not a lot of them, except for maybe like the Chiefs, are really saying that they are full-on contenders. But I will say, there are quite a lot of teams that we know that are going to be competing for the number one overall pick, and the Broncos are one of them. Now, unfortunately, the Buccaneers are beating not great teams. Who did they beat last week? It was Commanders, and then Lions. Oh yeah, Lions had a down game. That was not fun to watch because I hate the Buccaneers. They are not fun to watch. I don't like them. And unfortunately, they should get a pretty easy win here. So unfortunately, Buccaneers probably going to get another win, 3-0. Now, for one of the most absolutely heart-throbbing, incredibly exciting games of the week, we got the Carolina Panthers taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Oh boy, am I excited to watch this. And Bryce Young, man, I feel so bad for the kid. He's not even that bad. Well, okay, that's a bit of an understatement, but his team is horrible. The general manager's awful. The owner's awful. His weapons are awful. Well, Deontay Johnson's not that bad, but yeah, it's not great. He is benched for Andy Dalton, and anything could happen with the backup quarterback, but Raiders should be easy to win. They just beat the fucking Ravens. And you expected me to put them against the Panthers? Just move on. Just move on, dude. We got the Miami Dolphins taking on the Seahawks. Another team that I don't like, the Seattle Seahawks. Unfortunately, probably going to get a win here. They got Skylar Thompson to go against. And, yeah, Seahawks, unfortunately, probably moving to 3-0. Oh, God, I just hate the Seahawks. I hate the Buccaneers. And you know another team I hate? I hate the Dallas Cowgirls. and they got the Baltimore Ravens up next. The Ravens 0-2. Honestly, it's an interesting one. I think, yeah, Chiefs game, sure. Chiefs, best team in the league. And then Raiders, very interesting one. Max Crosby is him, but Ravens still got to win that game. And now an incredibly winnable game if the Saints can absolutely rock the Cowgirls world. Let me tell you what the Ravens are going to do to them. It's not going to be pretty. Now for the 49ers versus the Los Angeles Rams. Another surprising 0-2 team, the Los Angeles Rams. I guess it makes sense. Cardinals, Lions, two decent teams, I'd say. But now the Niners coming off a big loss to the Vikings, but no one is even phased. They're like, yeah, down game, whatever. And the Rams, I think, could genuinely start 0-3, which is kind of surprising to me. As, I mean, obviously Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, both out. Matthew Stafford, still one of the better quarterbacks in the league, and pretty decent defense, but should be no match for the Niners and Jordan Mason. Now we got the Detroit Lions taking on the Arizona Cardinals. Really, really good game. Oh, wow, man. Two really fun teams this year. I know who the better team is, the more experienced team. Very clearly the Lions. But the Cardinals just beat a really good Rams team that took the Lions to the wire. And I think the Cardinals are really good when Marvin Harrison Jr. didn't do good. And they're even better when Marvin Harrison Jr. is good. So I don't even know what's going to happen when the two are just... I don't know what's going to happen. This is a very interesting game. But I do think Lions are just better team. That's the end of the story, but totally could see the Cardinals winning. Now for the Kansas City Chiefs with the Atlanta Falcons. I already talked about it. Yeah. Falcons, after not the most impressive win against the Eagles, Saquon dropped it, and yeah. Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to win. But now for the Jacksonville Jaguars versus Buffalo Bills, and this is certainly a trap game for the Buffalo Bills. Jaguars in the past have had their number when the Jags are awful, and Bills, I always feel like they lose early in the season. I've been waiting for it. I'm pretty sure I've predicted them losing both their starting two games. Well, not Cardinals, not that one, but I predicted them losing last week, and they rocked the Dolphins world. Even when Tua was in, he was bad. And, yeah, I could totally see the Jags winning. But the Jags, they don't look too hot right now. I'm just going to be honest. I am going to pick the Buffalo Bills. Now, for the second Monday night game, we got the Washington Commanders taking on the 0-2 Cincinnati Bengals. What the hell is going on in this world? A lot of weird streaks happening right now. But Commanders, they're awful. They're really bad. And honestly, of these two Monday night games, I think I might want to put the Jaguars as winning instead. I was thinking about that. And then I was like, there's got to be a safe game. And then I saw the Bengals. I was like, yeah, that's a pretty safe game to choose. So I swear to God, if the Commanders and the Bills win, I'll be fucking pissed, mate. Honestly, I like taking the Jags with the upset. And then the Bengals to beat the Commanders. And now, fun little thing. We got how many total points will be scored in Commanders Bengals. Let's think about this nice and hard. Jane Daniels, Commanders, they haven't been doing great. I'll expect about like 17 points, probably. Bengals, I'm expecting a bit of a bigger game. I'll go like 28, 24 points. That's going to put us in the range of about, what? Oh boy, math is difficult, huh? I'll go like 44. Sure, that works. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. See you.